August 25th, 2010, at AT&T Park. This was the 2010 season in the middle of Tim Lincecum's first crash. He was having this implosion, the first implosion of Lincecum's career. First pitch was at 1:06. Indian summer began with a heat wave, and the warm weather seems to correlate directly with baseball sailing out of AT&T Park. The Giants, a great pitching team that struggled to produce even 3 or 4 runs a game in San Francisco's foggy, cool summers, had, with the heat, flipped the script, smashing the ball against the surging Central Division leading Cincinnati Reds, scoring 27 runs in the first 2 games, the night games. 16-5 they won on Friday, 11-2 Saturday evening. It was the beginning of a home run fiesta that would carry the Giants to the playoffs. Headed into the city on BART that morning after the long ball fest of the 2 previous nights, we met lots of Giants fans who were looking for a sweep. We all talked about how the day game would be even warmer and hoped that Giant bats would stay hot. More than once we heard the refrain, "I wish they'd save some of those runs and scatter them across a few games." We were excited to see Madison Bumgarner, the newest member of the starting rotation, a tall, strong 21-year-old with big-time game. It would also be my first time seeing the Reds' Joey Votto live, and he didn't disappoint. In the first, with the 2 men down, Votto blasted a 2-run homer. Worse, his was followed by a back-to-back shot by Johnny Gomes and Ryan Hannigan. So 3 in a row hurry out of the park on Madison Bumgarner. The Reds shelled him mercilessly before that last out, so 4-0. And though the Giants were down big before they'd even had a chance to bat, my son, the woman to my right, her son, who was wearing a floppy-eared panda hat, and I all agreed not to let it bother us. The Giants batters were coming off 27 runs in 2 nights. Panda hat favored Aubrey Huff. Yes, game we were in the face of 4 runs, and as if to prove us and the whole universe true, Bumgarner settled down in the second, and in the bottom half, Jose Guillen singled to left, was advanced to second by a Sandoval base hit, much to Panda Hat's excitement, and to third by an Uribe sac fly. The Giants chiseled him across the plate from third on a Freddie Sanchez single. Reds 4, Giants 1. But in the top of the third, the 21-year-old Bumgarner lost it with 2 outs again. Rowland doubled, Gomes singled, Hannigan walked on a full count, and Drew Stubbs tripled to clear the bases. It was just like that, 7-1. And when we thought it, couldn't possibly get worse, the poor kid blew it like I haven't seen since Little League. This is Madison Bumgarner that I was writing about in August of 2010. With 2 outs, 3 men in, and Stubbs standing on third, Righetti and Bochy decided to intentionally walk Paul Janish to set up the force at second, first, or home. So picture it. There's a runner on third. Catcher Buster Posey is standing up. He's got his glove arm extended, probably like this. The ump's got his hands on his hips. Janish is at the plate. He's barely even in his stance. He's holding the bat, like in a relaxed posture and awaiting his walk. And then suddenly Madison Bumgarner throws a wild pitch on an intentional ball. He missed Buster entirely, and Stubbs scores from third. Reds 8, Giants 1. I had no idea what to say. I mean, talk about brain freeze. I looked at my son between the top and the bottom of the inning, speechless. I ran through the list of cliches, out loud. Hey, there's no clock in baseball. It's the most changeable sport. Anything could happen. A couple of runs here. Solid inning in relief there. A few more runs. And we're right back in this thing. It was weak. But the woman to my left chimed in appropriately, and together we showed strength in the face of adversity to the boys. But not before she leaned over and whispered to me, "I wish they'd save some of those runs from yesterday to scatter across a few games." Then, again, torturously, with 2 outs in the fourth, in his first at-bat against our new right-hander Ramon Ramirez, Joey Votto homered for the second time. It was impressive. He worked the count against the second pitcher he'd faced that day and then calmly jacked a solo shot to left. Votto already had 2 big flies and 3 batted in. Reds 9, Giants 1. When the Giants failed to score in the bottom of the 4th, a lot of people left, but the woman to my right and her son stayed. They minded our stuff as we took a quick walk down to concessions to see if it might change our luck. My son flipped his hat around, the first of many rally caps I would see that day. Now, we never leave games, but this one just got worse. In the 5th, with 2 outs, Ramirez walked Stubbs, then issued back-to-back full-count walks to Janish, and finally capped his performance by yielding a single to the pitcher, Homer Bailey, which scored Stubbs. Santiago Casilla came in to get the last out and stood on the mound facing people's backs as they climbed the steps to scramble out, and a frustrated remaining crowd. In a tension-relieving moment akin to broken glass, Casilla then beamed Red second baseman Brandon Phillips. It was inadvertent, but it took Phillips out of the game, clearly bothered, in the 6th. Casilla then just took a strikeout, so his box reads 1 beaning and 1 strikeout in a third of an inning's work. Okay, that was enough for our seatmates, who bolted up the steps, panda ears a-flapping. And that was how the Giants got down 10-1 in the first 5 innings of a game we now refer to as one of the greatest comeback performances in SF Giants history.